Greetings everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today we embark on a fascinating journey to explore the intriguing world of Groundhog Day. This unique tradition, a blend of ancient European rituals and Native American folklore, is something that has always sparked curiosity and amusement. Let's set our stage in the small town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where each year anticipation builds around a certain four-legged creature. Yes, we're talking about none other than Punxsutawney Phil, the weather-predicting groundhog. As the calendar flips to February, all eyes turn to this furry forecaster, eagerly awaiting his prediction. Will it be an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter? The suspense is palpable. But how did this tradition start, and what's the story behind it? What makes Punxsutawney Phil the chosen one, and what happens if he doesn't see his shadow? Let's unravel the mysteries of Groundhog Day. Our story begins in the small town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where Groundhog Day has been celebrated for over a century. The roots of this tradition are buried deep in the soils of ancient European customs, notably Candlemas Day. This was a day when the clergy would bless candles and predict the end of winter. If the day was bright and clear, it was believed that winter would persist. If cloudy, spring was on its way. European settlers brought these beliefs with them when they crossed the Atlantic, blending them with the existing Native American folklore that held groundhogs in high regard. This fusion of cultures gave birth to a unique tradition, a day when a groundhog would predict the length of winter. It wasn't until the late 19th century, in 1887 to be precise, that Punxsutawney Phil, the star of our story, made his grand debut. He was declared the official weather forecaster, and the first official Groundhog Day celebration took place in a scenic area known as Gobbler's Knob. Local residents found charm in this quirky tradition. The novelty of a groundhog predicting weather patterns caught the public's imagination, and the event started to gain traction. Word spread, and soon people from far and wide began to descend upon Punxsutawney every February 2nd. As the years rolled by, Groundhog Day evolved from a local curiosity into a cultural phenomenon. The simple ceremony at Gobbler's Knob transformed into an annual festival, complete with music, food, and a myriad of groundhog-themed activities. The groundhog's prediction became a moment of national anticipation, broadcast live across the country. Punxsutawney Phil himself became an overnight celebrity. His weather predictions were eagerly awaited, and his fame spread beyond the borders of Punxsutawney. Phil began to make appearances in popular culture, starring in movies and featuring on talk shows, adding to the allure of Groundhog Day. Since then, Groundhog Day has grown into a cultural phenomenon. But what makes Punxsutawney Phil the chosen one to predict the weather? Let's find out. Punxsutawney Phil isn't just any groundhog, he's a celebrity. This beloved rodent has become a cultural sensation, popping up everywhere from Hollywood blockbusters like Groundhog Day to guest appearances on popular talk shows. But how did a humble groundhog from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, become an international weather forecasting sensation? The answer lies in a tradition steeped in history and a dash of magic. Legend has it that every year, Phil drinks a special brew known as the Groundhog Punch. This enchanted elixir not only grants him 7 more years of life, but also bestows upon him the power to predict the duration of winter. This unique ability has earned Phil the title of the official weather forecaster, a role he has embraced with gusto for over a century. His predictions are eagerly awaited, with thousands gathering at the annual ceremony at Gobbler's Knob to hear his forecast. The heart of Groundhog Day lies in the annual ceremony at Gobbler's Knob. But what goes on behind the scenes? Thousands gather in the early hours of February 2nd, awaiting Phil's prediction. But what goes on behind the scenes? Well, let's pull back the curtain on this fascinating tradition. The preparations for the ceremony start long before the break of dawn on Groundhog Day. The Inner Circle, a distinguished group of local dignitaries sporting top hats and tuxedos, is responsible for all the arrangements. They take care of Phil year-round, ensuring he's healthy and ready for his big day. The Inner Circle also plays a crucial role in interpreting Phil's actions. You see, Phil doesn't communicate his prediction in English, or any human language for that matter. Instead, he speaks Groundhogisy, a language only understood by the president of the Inner Circle. When Phil emerges from his burrow, the president closely observes his behavior. If Phil sees his shadow and scurries back into his burrow, winter will continue for 6 more weeks. But if he doesn't see his shadow and stays outside, spring is just around the corner. But Groundhog Day isn't just about Phil's shadow. It's steeped in weather folklore and unique rituals. One such ritual involves the members of the inner circle tapping their canes on the ground to wake Phil from his slumber. Another tradition is the reading of the prognostication, a scroll that contains Phil's prediction, written in rhyme and read aloud to the awaiting crowd. While these rituals add to the charm of Groundhog Day, let's not forget the heart of this tradition. It's about community, about coming together to celebrate a shared heritage and a bit of whimsy in the midst of winter. It's about the thrill of anticipation as everyone waits to see what prediction Phil will make. While Groundhog Day predictions are fun, it's important to note that they are based on folklore rather than scientific evidence. But whether or not you believe in Phil's predictive powers, there's no denying the magic and allure of Groundhog Day. In 1993, the movie Groundhog Day starring Bill Murray brought this quirky tradition to the forefront of popular culture. This film, which tells the tale of a man trapped in a time loop, reliving Groundhog Day over and over again, catapulted the holiday into the limelight. The enduring popularity of this movie classic has played a significant role in shaping the public's perception of Groundhog Day, making it a much-anticipated annual event. However, Groundhog Day has not been without its share of controversies. Some critics argue that the tradition perpetuates outdated weather folklore, devoid of any scientific basis. They question the relevance of relying on a groundhog's shadow to predict the length of winter in an age where meteorological science has advanced leaps and bounds. On the other hand, many view it as a harmless, enjoyable tradition that adds a dash of fun to the otherwise bleak winter months. Whether it's viewed as outdated folklore or a harmless tradition, Groundhog Day undeniably adds a touch of whimsy to our winter routines.